Hi everyone, it's Simon here, and it's Monday the 19th of December. Of course, the big man himself, he's getting ready to fly on Saturday night, and looking like he's got quite a bit of sea ice to contend with as well during the course of Saturday night. This is the latest sea ice chart from the University of Illinois, and UK's down here. Look, here's Scandinavia. Here's the homeland, of course, for the big man himself. Purple colour showing where there's total concentration of sea ice, and you can see this extending all the way southwards now into Svalbard, down the eastern side, sorry, to Spitsbergen, down the eastern side of Greenland as well. And we've got quite a bit of ice now, look, through Iceland, showing up through Scandinavia, and there's the snow across the Scottish Highlands too. Temperatures Father Christmas for Saturday evening in the atmosphere at about 30,000 feet, which is where I believe he flies, about minus 30 to minus 35 degrees Celsius, so it's going to be quite a chilly one. Let's get on with the forecast though. This is the 7 to 10 day mean 500 millibar flow from the ECMWF on the left here and the GFS on the right. These are valid from a week today, so that's from Boxing Day through to Thursday, Thursday the 29th. And you can see quite a difference now showing between these two models. Look, GFS has got a real strong ridge building here across central parts of Europe, including the UK, so really building high pressure through, whereas the ECMWF actually has a trough close by to us. This is a good indication. The model's not too sure on where this pattern is going to be going over the coming days. I tend to think that we'll stay in a relatively mild west to southwest flow through Christmas into next week, but the ECMWF hinting at this trough is really saying, hold on guys, that trough is not going to be far away. So it could be that we do see a breakdown into cooler jet stream conditions into the week between Christmas and New Year, and I think that's probably where we're going to head with this. So this is how the GFS sees things. Don't forget that this was more bullish on the idea of this high pressure area building across Europe than was the ECMWF. And as we just run through the sequence here, you'll notice how that high builds in. Look, that's Christmas Day. There it is. That's above normal heights. These orange colours here building in through the UK, below normal to the north, and this resultant strong southwesterly jet stream. This all leads to a green Christmas Day essentially. And then as we move into the period beyond Christmas Day into next week, the period between Christmas and New Year, that ridge trying to get stronger, look, across Europe. But by the end of the period, so getting through into New Year's Eve and into New Year's Day, heights still above normal down to the south, below normal to the north, but bringing in this jet stream again, look, across the Atlantic. So I think what this hints at, if we look back along these lines and see where the source region for the air is, it is across these cooler parts of the northern states, southern Canada. So it looks as though, although temperatures are probably going to be around normal for the time of year, it's not going to be particularly very mild once we get beyond this week and into next week. So we're probably looking at temperatures around normal, but probably southern parts of the country being generally dry, but northern areas tending to see these outbreaks of rain coming in from time to time during this period up to and after New Year. North Atlantic oscillation generally in positive territory. So we can kind of take this as the way it's probably going to be. So fairly strong westerly flow across the Atlantic, but trying to hint at getting to something near a neutral look into the new year, and perhaps that hinting at things becoming slightly cooler into the new year itself. Precipitation for the next week, from today through to next Monday, below normal across the country, which is exactly the way you'd expect it to be with this ridge building across the south of the country. I mean, generally, I think we are going to be looking at conditions being essentially dry through much of the back end of this week into the Christmas period itself, with this high coming in. But we do need to watch this threat from the ECMWF of trying to bring in this cooler air. So it's not a done deal just yet, but it does look as if the week as a whole is likely to be dry. Yes, some rain for western parts of Scotland. And temperature wise, how does that translate? Well, here's the temperatures around about or just above normal for the time of year across much of the British Isles. Just want to show you this chart as well. These are new charts from weatheronline.co.uk. These are the clusters of the GFS model, and what they do is they're actually putting in the various different members of the Ensemble run into clusters and then telling you how many of these clusters fell into this category. So 35% here, 35% here, 20% here, 10% here. And what it does is it just enables you to have a level of confidence in how the Ensemble model's going. Now, if we got our first cluster as being in the 40s or 50s, that would give you high confidence that the model is quite happy with where it's going. But because we've only got 35%, 35%, 20 and a 10, it's kind of hinting that, well, it's not overly sure that this is exactly the way the pattern will progress. But if you look at it for each of the various runs, this is valid for Christmas Day. For each of these runs, you see high pressure across Europe, you see a mild southwesterly flow. So really it's more down to do with the positioning of the high and the positioning of the low more than anything else for the uncertainty in the clusters. But that's a really good set of charts. Go to weatheronline.co.uk, take at those and have a play around them. It gives you an idea as to confidence levels in the forecast. Okay, hope that's been useful for you. Remember, this site's kept free of charge by the advert you see around the screen. So if you see an advert you like, click on it, go through to the advertiser. It generates revenue for us, and it also shows the advertiser that you like what we're doing here. So hope that's been useful for you. Keep the sun shining.